We are continuing with Wagner. This will be Wagner 1A. Now, before we get into the first opera, I will say this much. I myself, and this is a personal opinion, feel that Wagner was the greatest composer that ever lived. There will be none before like him and no one after him like him. Now, the other conductor, Sir Georg Scholti of England, has the very same opinion. When I was watching his first recordings of The Ring, and he had that opinion himself. So the first opera that Wagner ever wrote has a very odd title, which is called Die Feen, Feen, which means the fairies. Now, it was written, sometimes Wagner wrote, by the way, his own words. And he was one of the few composers that did not want someone else to write his words for him. But in this case, he based it on something by Shakespeare. So anyway, and it tells us here that the recording of this opera that I have was done in 1998. Now, what it does here, it goes, let me see. It debuted in 1988 and so forth, but it's the world of fairies, actually. And it goes through all of the scenes and all of the acts here. And then it says in the back of it two things that Wagner himself wrote about it. But I'm going to read you what the great German writer Thomas Mann said about it. It says, he said about it, the passion of Wagner's magical work has accompanied my love since I first became aware of it and began to conquer me, to penetrate through perception. I will never forget that I owe him as one who has enjoyed and learned never the hours of deep, lonely joy or middle of the crowded theater, hours full of the horror and pleasure of the nerves and the intellect, from insights into things moving and greatly significant that only this art form can provide. Now, Wagner writes himself about it, which is interesting, but let's leave it there. And this will be Wagner 1A when we actually name it. Now, this is one where he did not write his own words, but it is based on Shakespeare. And again, as I say, it is based on the life of fairies. We will continue with this soon.